I don't know what it looks like when we're live, though.
Oh,
So we might be... Oh, they're not saying anything.
oh, this is bad. Is it stage fright?
Oh, we're live. We are live, I think. Well, anyway,
We're back.
we're back again.
In a relatively quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Not months, not half a year.
Years. Yeah. This is great. So, welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast. I am Matt Vieira,
I'm Ryan Fogarty.
and we're going to sit here and talk with you guys for a little bit. So, this is our first time on Facebook Live. This is our first time we got this to work. So, that's pretty cool. So, let's kick it off. First topic on the podcast. What do we got here?
Super Bowl recap.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, one of, if not the most exciting, unless you're a Falcons fan, Super Bowls of all time.
It 100%. Like it was incredible. Especially not if you're a Falcons fan.
That's bad.
It was just insane.
But I mean, we're both casual fans
Yeah.
as far as we're not Falcon or Patriots fans. So watching it as just a fan of the NFL whose team wasn't in it, that was an amazing game.
I was leaning a little more towards the Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a hometown guy, but also I can't have the Falcons winning because they're in the Bucs
That's
division.
true.
So I can't have that at all. So I was definitely rooting for the Patriots, but the Falcons looked like they had it all locked up. Obviously, we could talk about this for days, how insane it was. But I mean, the feeling I had the Super Bowl party at my parents' house,
Yeah.
and like everybody was like, by the time the third quarter rolled around, it was 28-3, and
It's like a depression.
It was. I mean, I had my eyes locked on the TV because I knew they were going to turn it around, but I didn't know how.
That's the only team in football where they can be down like that, 28-3, and you're like, just a ball fumble here, pick here, bad punt here, and all that ended up happening.
I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
I've seen this 1,000 times, and like as not a Patriots fan, it's like I don't think Patriots fans really understand how insane this is.
Right.
Like this is not the norm for other teams.
No.
So anyway, at halftime, like a good majority of the people that were at my parents' Super Bowl party left. By the third quarter, most of them were gone, except for me, my brother's friend Andrew, and my parents. That was it. That's who was left. And my dad did not sit down the entire game, and he just stands like. But this is what he does for every game,
Yep.
but specifically for the Super Bowl, he was just like. And then they started mounting the comeback, and I never heard my dad get to that octave scream.
Really?
And they scored in overtime. Oh my god,
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was ridiculous. So we were all going nuts. It was crazy. I mean, it's probably the greatest football game that's ever been played.
Yeah,
Right?
it has to be. Because, I mean, going into the game, the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history is 10 points, which Brady and the Patriots own. But you're talking about outscoring a team 25-0 in the fourth quarter and overtime of a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're not like outscoring the Cleveland Browns. You're not outscoring this bum team. You're outscoring what is now the second best team in the NFL this year. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
It's
amazing.
Crazy.
Now, the only thing coming out of this game, and I don't want to diminish the Patriots win in any way, but should the NFL change their overtime rules? I mean, I know those are the rules, and the Patriots won, that's it, but it does stink that in the Super Bowl, the Falcons did not have a chance to rebuttal.
And nobody when they got heads, I knew it was over.
Right.
Because no one was. They were on fire,
Yeah.
absolutely so hot. It was over. So I think that the rules should change. I don't know what they should change to.
Because you could do the college rules where you get it at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and you go. It's like red zone tries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the solution is, but it's tough because there's nowhere for them to really try it. Have you heard about the MLB thing? How they're thinking about trying out the extra innings rules?
No.
They want to start a runner on second, and they're going to start in the minors.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's no way for the NFL to really try this out. And it used to be kick a field goal, it's over. I mean, remember, that's what it used to be.
So they tweaked it a little bit.
I mean, I understand that if you score a touchdown, it's better than just having to go halfway down the field and kick a field goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
From where you.
And they do it. They do drive down the field, but it just it stinks. It stinks that the Falcons didn't have a chance to rebuttal because
if I was a Falcons fan, I'd be pissed.
Right, but the rules going in, so it's fine.
It's the way it is.
Just a little follow up to our last podcast when I mentioned some of the bets I made. So 3 of the bets I made was James White scores the first touchdown for the Pats. Any player breaks the receptions record in the Super Bowl, and any quarterback breaks the passing yardage.
You racked up some.
So I won 3 of those bets because James White broke the receptions record with 14. Yeah. Brady broke the passing record for most yards in a game, and then James White ended up scoring first. So
I'm tweeting this out. I want to get people. If you're watching this right now, share it. Share it away.
And now, do you want me to?
Yeah, please. I don't know anything about your night, but I heard Deepak kind of like filled me in this a little bit.
Yeah, so I ended up similar to Matt. I watched it at a friend's house. Deepak, if you're watching, thanks for having me. Diehard Patriots fan, just me and him. So I got dropped off, and I was gonna Uber home. So it's like, you know what? The day and the night is mine to have some beers. And
of course,
some beers turned into a lot of beers, but I'm like, hey, I'm Ubering home. What does it matter? So at the end of the game, we were watching the celebration, and I requested the Uber a little too early. So Deepak went to the bathroom, and I just left. I left my wallet, I left my koozie, I left my hat, I left the food, everything there almost. So I go in, I get into it. I'm not even paying attention. There's just a car parked out front. I get in the car. The woman starts driving me. We're on the highway. And the woman's like, where are you going? And I said, 7 Arthur Street. She goes, you're not the right person. I'm like, what do you mean? Why'd you take me? She turns around, drives me back to Deepak's apartment. I have to request another Uber. And then that person picks me up and takes me home.
That's insane. It's got to be on the Uber driver right there.
Yeah, that's not me.
Did they say anything to you when you got in the car at first? Like, were they like...
Not that I can recall. I mean, I thought, I'm just assuming. But, you know, a funny thing is, so I had to go pick up my wallet from Deepak's. So I go back to Deepak's. And there's no parking out front, so I just like put on my hazards, and I'm kind of parked in the street. And Holly goes inside to meet Deepak, and these 2 kids try to get in my car, thinking I'm an Uber. So I'm like, is this like a common thing at this apartment complex?
I think so.
Needless to say, not my finest hour, but it was still a fun night.
I think we lost the live stream. We're still recording locally, but I think we lost the live stream. I'm gonna try and throw it back up in a second. But that's hilarious. So what time did you end up getting home? What was like the total travel time from when you left Deepak?
From when I left, the total travel time was probably like 45 minutes. Should have been 15, because we got on the highway. We were on our way, and I'm like, lady, just like, come on, you can't take me home. Like,
how come? So because
she must have been trying to pick up somebody else.
Sure, or it was
hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully she just wasn't driving random people around that night. But and the only sad thing for me as a 49ers fan coming out of the Super Bowl. Kind of wish our new head coach had a little bit more momentum going into next season. Kyle Shanahan is the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, and he's getting blamed for the loss because of the play calling. It's like, can we have one nice thing?
Is that a surprise to you though?
No, it's not.
I feel like this is the type of
I'm just glad he's still breathing. Yeah, so wish he had a little bit more momentum.
He is still breathing now, but
right.
By next season it might be a little different. He might, if he watches that Super Bowl too many times. Might be a problem.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't look at it, because you know what are you gonna do? Yeah, he scored what, 21 points on him because they had the pick 6. So the Pats had a good defense all year. I thought I think
it was an underrated defense because they went into play in Houston, and all they did was talk about how Houston's defense has been stellar all year.
Yeah,
nobody talked about the Pats.
No,
and that's just not the way you handle the New England Patriots.
Nope.
You just make them underdogs. Why? You
Stop.
know how this story ends. You do not make them underdogs.
Unless he's playing Eli Manning.
Oh my God.
Tom Brady's kryptonite, but that's about it. He's gonna win.
No. But so you're happy, still happy about Kyle Shanahan.
I'm happy about Kyle Shanahan.
And you got to be happy about John Lynch, right?
I like Shanahan's 37, John Lynch is 45.
Nice.
Brings a little bit of youth to the organization. I guess he's not going to hire an offensive coordinator. Okay. Because he's kind of going to do both.
Okay. And is there anybody that's going to fill that role, kind of as just like a figurehead, or is it just going to be?
No,
it's just going to be defensive coordinator and him on the sideline.
Well, because he's going to have a running backs coach that he's bringing in. Atlanta's running back coach is going to come with him.
Oh, okay.
I forgot the guy's name, but he's coming with him.
That's pretty good.
He'll have a receivers coach, offensive line coach, but I think as far as play calling, he's like, which I kind of appreciate.
Yeah.
Because what's the point in confusing things? Bringing in a coordinator who's not going to call the plays. If you want to call it. I mean, it seems like a big responsibility to me for a first-time head coach, but
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, what do you think they'll do in the draft? Offense heavy.
Yeah, I don't know, because their defense is really what hurt them this year. The only thing is they need a quarterback. Really, you can't. Yeah. Kaepernick's.
What is Kaepernick still on? His contract is still on.
Is
Gabbert too?
I think Gabbert too. But what are they gonna do? Nobody wants him.
No, you gotta. Now, who's coming out of the draft as a quarterback that they would want?
I don't even know.
Well,
I don't follow college football because I don't know. I don't know who the hell they do bring.
I'm cautiously optimistic for the Bucs this year because we've had years like this.
What pick do they have?
They have the 19th pick, 17th or 19th pick. Somewhere
The 49ers should have a decent pick.
Yeah, pretty good pick.
Top 10, maybe. Hopefully.
I'm cautiously optimistic that the Bucs will have another good season next year, and I count this year as a good season.
They played well.
I can't. You can't knock that because we've had a miserable last decade or more. So, yeah, I'm excited. Jameis Winston hopefully doesn't pull a Josh Freeman and decide to go into oblivion.
It's like, you know what?
That'd be bad.
I'm not gonna play good anymore.
It's happened before.
It has.
It happened to every single one of our quarterbacks, except for Jeff Garcia. Go figure. All right, so we saw something on Twitter, or you saw something. I saw it as well. I didn't understand it at first. So Jenna Fisher tweeted a picture in front of a Chili's.
Yes.
There. Do you want to...
So Jenna Fisher, who played Pam Beasley in The Office, there's the first episode, the season premiere of season 2, was called The Dundies. And for those of you who don't watch The Office, the main boss, played by Steve Carell, Michael Scott, would have his awards ceremony for all his employees called The Dundies. And in that episode, they held it at a Chili's. Jenna Fisher's character had a little bit too much to drink, and in the show, she was banned from Chili's. So she decided the other day on Twitter to take a selfie in front of a Chili's asking, should I try to go in? And then Chili's, who... It's just really nice. We've talked about this before, but it's cool seeing big-time brands and corporations getting into the fun stuff. It makes the internet more fun. But they tweeted an official press release. Ending the ban. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Saying, Pam Beasley, Jenna Fisher, you're now allowed into Chili's. You can come in.
That's
so
cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's really
I like when brands do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Chili's, hey, not that I would ever bash you because I love your food and your margs and your beer specials, but now it's just another reason to go. I got one right up the road. Yeah, maybe I'll go in the snowstorm tomorrow.
And Jenna Fisher is just a national treasure.
Yeah,
everybody on that show. I love checking in to see what they're all doing. And I love how they always have interactions with each other, like on social media and whatnot.
She and Angela are best friends.
That's wild. Angela was her maid of honor?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they're always in Instagram pictures and stuff together, and it's really cool.
That is really cool.
And actually, the episode's a new girl I'm watching. Angela is one of
who does she?
Jess's teachers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
she's pretty funny.
Yeah. She is funny.
So it's nice to see. I like you said, I love all the people on that show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, I watched that. I watched that and Parks and Rec the most over and over again. I've probably seen those seasons. I mean, I've seen the entire series probably 10 times in its entirety. I'll just finish it, and then I'll start back from the beginning again.
Yeah.
And you can just watch it and throw it on. So.
And actually, Steve Carell, I think it was a couple weeks ago or a month ago when they announced Will and Grace was coming back for a new season, he tweeted. He's like, breaking news, The Office is coming back to NBC.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, sorry, Will and Grace is coming back. It's like, you can't get people riled up like that.
And that, people would freak out.
No, they were. People were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Which, I mean... If a Michael Scott ever showed up, How would
they continue that? Like, how if you were tasked with bringing The Office back to NBC?
Yep.
What would you do?
I mean,
now Jim is in Philly.
Yep.
Michael's in Colorado with Holly.
Yeah. Dwight and Angela are married.
Yeah.
Right. That was the
and
finale.
He runs the beet farm.
Yeah. So they're all kind of doing their own thing.
I would. You'd have to focus it on Steve Carell and Holly.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets a job out in Colorado, and
because if you're gonna spin off
a new bunch of Office,
or I wouldn't mind. You could do a spin off with the Beet Farm.
That's not bad either. And it was funny because Thomas Middleditch, right? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
The guy from Silicon Valley is his brother, and then Dwight also has a sister with that little boy, that little kid. So yeah, you could probably do something with that. That'd be cool. I'm good the way it ended, but if they had to, I wouldn't say no. Obviously,
no. I'd watch it.
I'm not an idiot.
Right. I'd watch it. I'd laugh and I'd enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So. All right, so I found this. I was watching SportsCenter last night, and I was surfing the web, as one does.
World Wide Web?
Yeah, the World Wide Web. I fired up the internet.
Put the colon.
Shoveled the colon, fired up the internet. And so I'm searching, and then The Verge, I think, or someone posted this website called And Vinily. So, And Vinyl. Anyway, you when you die, you have your ashes pressed into a vinyl. Which is a pretty phenomenal idea. So I have a few questions.
Yes.
And the website didn't quite answer them. Number one, how many vinyls can I press with my ashes? Because technically you're not making the vinyl record out of your ashes. You're putting the ashes into a clear vinyl and you can kind of see the ashes in there. So I think that you could probably sprinkle ashes into like a bunch. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, can I get more than one? That's my first question. Number two, like, how popular is this? I want to know how many people are getting turned into vinyl records, and I want to know where I can find these vinyl records. Because if I could get a piece of Prince in a vinyl record, I might want to have that in my collection.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could afford that.
Because it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's what's the price breakdown?
From the website, it's over $4,315, and that's 12 minutes of audio per side.
I think that we are in the wrong business. I think we need to figure this out.
That's
Oh
okay.
God! Oh God! We have the ashes. We don't know what to do with them though.
Does anybody have high heat?
We-
I put them in the oven. It's only
Put it
350.
It's on fire again.
One of the more disturbing things I found out when I was looking into this, it says the $4,315 includes 12 minutes of audio per side. That can include final words or memories. Okay, that's nice. Licensed music.
I didn't even think of that. Like actual like spoken words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So licensed music.
Yeah.
Or simple popping and cracking to hear the ashes. Who's picking that?
What? Is the ashes burning?
Yeah.
Who wants that?
I don't know.
I don't want my body to
No. Like, it's like, oh, here's pop pop.
Listen to him burn.
It's like, why? Like,
That's terrible.
if your choices are words and memories, licensed music, or the simple popping sound of your loved ones being burned,
That's wild.
I mean, who's picking that?
No,
Those people should be sent to the FBI.
I probably would pick music, but
Yeah.
I also might. Now that I think,
Words
of
and
it,
memories, like maybe a eulogy or something, you know?
I'll just
That'd
like read like Ernest Hemingway. It'll take like 20
be like
discs.
haikus or something.
Yeah, just read like an entire book of like, what is he talking
The Old Man and
about?
the Sea.
Why did he do this? Why couldn't he just say I love you? So, yeah, I would do that. But if you were gonna do music, licensed music,
Yeah.
let's say like in the blog I posted last night, AverageNobodies.com, what would you pick for a song? Like, what would be your song? Let's say one song, one side.
Well,
End
my
it there.
favorite song is Fast Car
Okay.
by Tracy Chapman.
I had a feeling you were gonna say
So
that.
that's what I'd pick.
Okay.
And I would listen to it. I mean, so now, am I picking the song for the person who's getting cremated, or this is in my will? Put my ashes into a vinyl of
And then-
Tracy Chapman
and
Fast
then
Car,
play it.
and then play it. Because
Yeah.
at least people, that's how they remember me.
You have to play it once a day.
Sobbing a little bit.
So I think you can have it however you want. Like, because I think when you leave your will, you could say, this is like to remember me by. This was my favorite song. Or you could be like, play this and remember me. Like, remember me. Like something that evokes emotion. I think that's the route I went. Because in the blog, I selected "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" by Elton John because I love that song.
yeah.
But there's not one time I've watched that song and a tear hasn't like rolled up to the corner.
It's
of my
so
eye.
beautifully
It's
sung.
just so I love Elton John, and I think that song is just like perfection. So I want motherfuckers to be crying when they listen to my record.
See, that's why, like, even though Fast Car is my favorite song, it'd probably be the one I pick. But if I'm going on, like, the emotion factor, I might go, like, Secret Garden by Bruce Springsteen, which is one of my all-time favorite slower songs.
That's a good song.
And The Boss, you know.
Or like "Don't Miss a Thing."
Yeah,
Aerosmith. That's pretty awesome. Like something like that. I last night
you have
when
to
I
find Ben Affleck and make him be at the Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis in character.
yeah.
It's
It's
very
part of my will.
complicated.
Call Ben Affleck. So I'm Matt Vieira's lawyer, and he says that you have to be here for the playing of this record. I also, do you have Bruce Willis's number? I don't have to do any of this. Who is Matt Vieira and why? It's part of his will.
Weirdly, this
It says.
isn't the first time someone's called me on this.
So I last night when I did the blog, I picked Yellow Brick Road, but like today I was listening to Spotify and I feel like I could have picked like 30 other songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that would be so good.
That's the good thing about music, you know. Depending on the literal second you're listening to it, it's that perfect song. So,
Or maybe you turn it into like a murder mystery,
oh,
and you have to like multiple discs, and you have to like
do the X-Files theme song.
in the background. That'd be pretty good.
What is this?
That'd be pretty good. All right, which brings us on to our one of our last segments. Would you rather? So Ryan, would you rather have the power to read minds, like Doctor Xavier,
Yep.
Professor Xavier, not Doctor.
He could be a doctor.
He probably is a doctor, PhD,
It's just
Xavier.
it's not as fun as a plot point. He's a pediatrician.
Or would you rather fly like Superman?
See, I'm afraid of birds. I don't like birds. So
You don't want to be anywhere near
it
them.
heavily influences my decision.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if I'm up in the air, the birds now, my worst nightmare is not only do they outnumber me, I'm with them. I don't have the experience of flying. There's a murder of crows somewhere on my tail, and I'm screwed. I don't. So
So now, what about if you like learn to fly in like a secluded area, and then you're
Okay.
able to like get yourself up where you could just like assassinate all the birds?
Right.
You'd be fine.
I still think I'll go read minds.
Okay, so what is the read minds? Because I have an answer as well. I just want to hear what your reasoning is first.
Well, the older I get, the more I find myself developing sociopathic tendencies. So I think being able to read minds and manipulate people would be a lot of fun for me.
Okay.
Knowing their fears, their loves, all that type of stuff, and being able to kind of push their buttons in certain ways. I think I'd enjoy that.
I think it'd be good. So here's my thing. I don't think I'd want to read people's minds. Only because I really don't want to know what they're thinking.
That's the downside of it.
My anxiety would implode from knowing what people are actually thinking about me. I would die.
Especially a lot of people who you're friends with, not maybe your close friends, but like people who you like professionally and stuff. Yeah. And you get into their minds and God knows what they're thinking. But I don't know.
But imagine like walking down the street and you're just like having a fine day, and then all of a sudden like someone passes you and you hear their thought and they're like, "Oh, what a fucking asshole!" And I'm like, "I didn't need that."
Or you're in traffic.
I didn't need that. Like.
Yeah, that would definitely be a downside.
Eat a salad, fatty. Like I don't need to hear. I don't need to hear that.
Son of a bitch.
Like what the fuck? Like I don't need to hear that. I don't need that negativity.
So now with the read minds, would it be like in What Women Want? Like that's just constant all the time.
I guess we can kind of like put. That's how I think.
Well, because it would have to have some downside.
Yeah.
So the flying for me, I'd be an amateur flyer.
If I could turn it on and off, maybe I would pick reading minds. But I have to do flying because there's so many opportunities for me to like make money, to profit off of it, to have fun, like do whatever I want. I don't have to have a car anymore. Just fly around. But then, so now also with, you talk about reading minds. You have the, is it always on or can you turn it on and off? With flying, there's always that, when people talk about if you could have the power to fly, and this is a ridiculous hypothetical, but people talk about it more than you think.
Absolutely.
Does it take effort or is it effortless? Because that's a huge factor as well. If it's like,
so if you're gonna be exhausted,
if it's like having to run, like I want nothing. I want no part of that. Like I want no part of that. I'll read minds all day. Like I don't want to have to be like I don't want to have to fly to my destination and be drip sweating. Like I want to be able to get there and look like a badass. Like show up,
right, land in perfectly.
Yeah, like go on vacations whenever you want. Just show up anywhere.
But there's definitely pros and cons to each one. It kind of depends on what you really want to do.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's my pick. I pick flying.
And I would pick so combined we'd be a powerful force.
Yeah, we'd be like the best of the X-Men. Dr. Xavier.
Dr. Xavier.
The doctor.
If he could fly, he'd be Dr. Xavier.
The doctor's in. Okay, so Ryan, what are you watching?
So what I'm currently watching, and up until about an hour ago, really big fan of the show, This Is Us.
Okay.
It's on NBC.
Yes.
Great show, great cast. Mandy Moore, Milo Ventimiglia, I think his name is. It's Mandy Moore and him play each other in the past. So it's constantly shifting from different time frames. Mm. So it starts off in the 70s and they have 2 kids and they adopt a kid, and then it goes to present day when the kids are all grown up. One of the kids is the lawyer from The People vs. O.J. Simpson, not Johnny Cochran, Chris Darden.
Oh, yeah,
who's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
So he's in it, and it's a really cool show. It's a little sad at times here and there, but I really like it. And now I'm home before I come here, and Holly comes home and she sees her dad's girlfriend at the market, and her dad and his girlfriend watch it all the time. So Holly's like, I saw Jeannie at the market. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, we were talking. You and my dad have to watch This Is Us more. I'm like, what do you mean? Like we watch it all the time. She's like, yeah, but like, look what so and so did for his wife. And last night's episode was, now these are fictional characters, but last night's episode was like the husband worked 80 hours in the week and he somehow got to 3 different football games and a chess tournament and all this stuff, and then still had time to create this elaborate surprise for his wife in this apartment they used to live in. I'm like, I need you to tell me that that's not a real thing. Like, I'm a good boyfriend.
I want to make sure Lindy doesn't watch it.
Yeah, like, I'm a good boyfriend, but like, come on, you can't compare me to fictional characters. This guy it's not real. So now, every time I'm watching it, I'm going to be thinking like, Holly's going to be like,
take notes.
Well, I didn't do that. Well, I'm sorry, I'm one man, okay? I'm only one man. So no, but it is a really good show. It's really cool. It's like a serious Modern Family.
Okay.
Everyone plays their role. Every storyline's really interesting. It's still only in the first season, so I don't know if it's going to have that longevity of Modern Family. I could see
it's
it. It's
always tough with shows now.
Because there's literally 6 storylines going on.
Oh, really?
But everyone's really good. But
does it handle it like how Shameless does? Like it's like storylines.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's like a mess, but it like works.
Yeah.
And then it's all of them are interesting.
Yes, they're all interesting, and they all kind of twist together in their own ways. And the acting's really, really good. But there's one storyline that I'm kind of getting tired of. It's, for anyone who watches it, the Kate and Toby storyline. Everyone loves Toby. He's her boyfriend, but he's just he's annoying now, and it's already kind of losing me in that. I'll still watch it, but but it's a great show, and if you can watch it, it's on Tuesday nights at 9 on NBC.
So that's the only way you can watch it. You got to watch it on NBC
or NBC on demand. Yeah. So that's the newest show I've been watching, and it's a new show, season 1. So get into it if you like that.
I'm gonna check that out because you're not the first person to suggest that to me, so I'm definitely gonna check that out. And I have so much shit to watch. Right now, I'm boring right now because I've been trying to get like this whole basement in order. So I've been watching I watch The Office and like I said, Parks and Rec almost every day. Just like have it on in the background type thing. But what I'm actually watching, I'm watching Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. We talked about that before. Yep. I really like that show. I'm still on episode 2, so I'm still behind that. But I've also been watching a lot of live TV lately, and that doesn't sound crazy, but I haven't been using the basement that much, and this is where my cable box is. Up in my apartment is just an Apple TV and some streaming services, so I haven't been watching live TV in a long time, and since Barstool went on Comedy Central, I've been watching. So I've been watching a lot of Sports Center again, and I've been watching a lot of HGTV. So I've been really enjoying like shows because now it's not like super repetitive anymore. It's like a lot of new stuff and like new commercials, like stuff I haven't seen. Like
commercials. If you haven't watched live TV in a while, commercials aren't the worst thing in the world.
No, not
they're
bad.
Really not.
And honestly, I like commercials because I can get up, go to the bathroom if I need to. I can do some shit. Like it's not like constant sitting. If I'm sitting and watching, they kind of get annoying sometimes.
Right.
You can get up. Also, Netflix just released a new batch of movies, like older movies on Netflix. Superbad is one of them. So I watched that last night because
it's a mortal sin if you don't watch it if it's available to you.
I have it on Blu-ray. I don't need to watch it. I can watch it anytime I want. But it was on Netflix, so I put it on because Superbad is a classic all-time comedy. It's an all-time classic comedy movie. It's gonna go down as one of the. It's a timeless classic.
That one, for like that type of movie, like I love that one, and like a Wedding Crashers, A 40-Year-Old Virgin. I could just watch those incessantly and never get sick of them. But Superbad's really, really good, especially when you consider that's really Jonah Hill and Michael Cera's like first movie, right?
Yep.
Acting wise, I mean maybe they were.
Well, I think Michael Cera was in, and I could get this wrong. He was in Arrested Development before that.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, so that was like 2004. It started, and then I think
was Superbad before the 40-Year-Old Virgin? Because I think Jonah Hill was in.
Well, Superbad was 2007. I don't know when 40-Year-Old Virgin was.
So Jonah Hill might have been in ones here and there, but they're the whole movie, really.
Yeah, yeah. So, Jonah Hill just shows up to the shop and buys the fish shoes.
Yeah,
in 40-Year-Old Virgin. I fucking love that scene.
He
doesn't understand it. Like she's not selling stuff in there; she's just selling stuff on eBay. It's like, so you have a store, and you don't sell anything in it. All right, so we had a slight hiccup in the Facebook live feed. I'm sorry if you're listening.
I'm blaming Zuckerberg on that one.
Yeah, Zuckerberg, you motherfucker. Too busy making himself a smart home. But we did record
Fix your
it.
Issues.
If you're listening right now, we did record the whole thing on camera, and we also backed up the audio. So I'm going to have this up on our blog and on iTunes just like normal, this podcast. You can find it on AverageNobodies.com or search Average Nobodies Podcast in iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at Average Nobodies. And until next time, we will see you guys later. We're going to try and do this every week or every other week. We haven't got down an exact schedule yet, so we'll see you guys soon.
We'll be back, and if you're in the Northeast, stay warm and out of the snow, and we hope you went to the liquor store and got lots of wine and beer, because it's coming for you.
It's coming.
Nemo.
Bread and milk, too. I don't know what you do with bread and milk, but bread and milk.
I think you put them in a blender.
Is that what people are doing with
it? Yes, it is.
It's disgusting.
It's horrible.
Oh, God. All right, see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.